Hello, my name is Mark Beasley. I'm the Deloitte Professor of Enterprise Risk Management and Director of the ERM Initiative in the Poole College of Management at North Carolina State University. I'm very pleased to have Steve Dreyer here with Standard & Poor's. Steve, I understand that S&P is particularly wanting more exposure to how entities are thinking about environmental, social, and governance risk. Can you give us a little background of why S&P is particularly interested in that?
Yeah, our credit ratings are aimed at investors, bond investors, and more they're asking us, what role do these kinds of risks play in our analysis? And the short answer is they really don't currently play a big role because of the time frame over which ESG, environmental social governance risks, tend to play out, well beyond our normal kind of forecast horizon, if you will. So we're looking for a way, and we've proposed a potential way of separately looking at ESG risks and reporting on that, distinct from the credit rating itself, and then the investor can use it as a tool.
So it would be actually reported on, the ESG rating, I guess.
Yeah, we're calling it an assessment, but okay. That's the idea. We, earlier this year, we signed on to the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investing Statement on ESG and Credit Ratings. I think I have that right. And what these are the world's largest institutional investors, basically declaring that ESG is an important issue and that there should be more disclosure around it. And they specifically asked credit rating agencies to kind of step up and say more about what it is we know or should know about these kinds of risks. So that was part of the thinking too, was to respond to that commitment.
Now, some may come back and say, I think we already provide that disclosure, so to what extent might someone argue that with the corporate social responsibility reports, those kinds of things, that maybe it's there?
Right. Yeah, in fact, our own corporate responsibility people are working with us as we design what might be a new reporting service to make sure it doesn't unduly kind of, cause them problems, because they themselves would have to respond to it. But the way we're looking at it is responding to investors who look at us as an independent evaluator. We talk to probably 6,000 entities, companies, governments, other entities that we rate around the world every year, at least once a year, face-to-face meetings to talk about how they run their business, risks, financial performance, and so forth. So it provides us a unique insight, I think, into how companies think about all types of risks, but certainly ESG being among them. And we can also look at companies over time because we meet with them year after year. So we think that puts us in a kind of a unique position to be able to opine on these risks. I have to say, though, that, and maybe this is your next question, well, you guys aren't environmental experts, and that's true. So we recognize that we have to, in order to assess the information provided to us, have to bring in some other sources, some other expertise, particularly in social and environmental risk.
As you're beginning to have these conversations and exposing this thought of looking at environmental, social, governance risk, what is your initial sort of observation about how companies are thinking about ESG?
Well, I think a number of different perspectives. I think from an employee morale perspective, it's becoming more and more important. Recruiting, so there's sort of an HR aspect to it. I've already mentioned that investors are asking more about it, so if they're asking us, then presumably they're interested in investing in, or at least factoring this set of risks into their investments. And so companies want to be responsive to that, both their equity and bond investors. And of course, there's regulations and other kind of constituencies, communities, who are all kind of providing some pressure, if you will, on companies to think more about these things.
Well, Steve, thank you for shedding a little bit of insight about what S&P is thinking in the ESG space. It'll be fun to sort of watch as the future unfolds and how this evolves. So thank you for your time today.
Pleasure.